It's Russell Westbrook. You can still do it. Russell Westbrook.
What's up, y'all? This is truly the first video of 2K22, and I want to start off with the banger build video. Made one later last year, DeMar DeRozan. I was playing another one for Bam Adebayo build for 2K21, but I scrapped it. Wasn't really feeling that one, so we're gonna start off this year with the Russell Westbrook point guard build. All around build, just like the real Russell Westbrook. It can shoot, sort of. Well, if you're good at it, you'll be able to green up consistently, because it's like that this year. Finish, defend, rebound, and of course playmaking. But let's get into it. The yellow-blue chart is the one you're going to be choosing, and of course, speed, vertical. I explained in the last video, but I'll explain it again. You want to really get advantage of jumping over bigs and finishing over taller defenders, and especially this year with the limitless takeoff, the posterizer badge being a completely different thing in itself. You really want to have that vertical up, because you're going to be jumping from further and jumping higher, especially with the few dunk packages I like to use, which have you start from far out and get high takeoff vantage points. So you really want to invest in that and make sure you have a good vertical, especially if you're a slasher. But you see what we're working with here: 29, 22, and 7. You see what I'm doing with the upgrades and stuff like that. You can tweak it depending on how you want to play or how you think Russell Westbrook would play, because I personally would want a little bit more defensive badges, but considering what I want to do with the build, that's the best I could get with 7. And right here, it doesn't matter. You can call Russ built, burly, defined, whatever. This height thing is really something I know is going to be a bit controversial, because I made him 6'5", which means he doesn't get certain dribble packages and no small contact dunks. So the reason behind me doing this, because I really wanted this build to be more diverse, play 1 through 3, also just be able to just bully smaller guards without taking away from the speed and the vertical by just burling them up with the pounds. Because you see right there, I'm making them near max minimum weight. My bad. But I did not want to like make them maxed out weight just to be bullying smaller guards, which as I'm 6'5", I can just back them down, get a good like post move here and there, and you can really score off of that, especially with the contest system this year being a little bit broken, especially for inside shots. You can get a lot of good opportunities. But you make him 6'4", if you want the small dunk packages and those dribble moves, or 6'3", doesn't really matter. But you know, max out the wingspan for obvious reasons. Pick whatever take you like. I pick slasher, because I honestly think it's just more fitting to Russell Westbrook into my play style, because I really like being aggressive, getting into that paint. And now that we got that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about Russell Westbrook before we get to the badges and what I'm really thinking about this build before I get to the badges. Okay, so when I go to these badges, I'm really thinking about what exactly can get me to the basket and get me open. And when I get to the basket, what type of badges am I going to need, am I going to want to make sure that I can finish over bigs, guards, and get the tough animations, those tough layups in. And this is what I came up with. I know that Giant Slayer isn't on, and that might be a bit controversial. Like, why don't you put that on if you want to finish over bigs? If you get a good dunk package, Hall of Fame limitless takeoff, Hall of Fame posterizer, and just play smart with where you start from and what shots you take, you'll give over the bigs pretty much every single time, because it's pretty hard to start, especially the Clyde Drexler dunk package. He goes up high, and it's pretty hard to stop that. Here's the playmaking badges I came up with: quick first step, space creator. Like, some of these I didn't do on my own build, but just kind of like giving you a layout of what you could do. This isn't exactly what I did, except I'm pluggable on silver. Those 3 badges I still do have on Hall of Fame. Hyperdrive on gold, bullet passer on silver, downhill on bronze, handles for days on bronze, which I probably will upgrade in the future, but that's where it's at right now. And this is exactly what I have on the defense, because menace, it gets you some of those bumps. Clamps helps you keep in front of people. Intimidator helps you make players miss shots. So that's what you want. That's really what you want. But yeah, pretty much let me talk a little bit about Russell Westbrook, the player himself. Heading to LA after being in Washington, Houston, deleting Oklahoma City. It's been pretty much a whirl. Like, I mean, you go from the team you've been with your whole career and you just go like bouncing around from teams for 3 years straight. It's kind of boggling. And I never really imagined Russell Westbrook leaving Oklahoma City, even though I know it would be the better move. Moved to Houston. They trade away Capella to try out that small ball thing. Didn't really work out, especially not the bubble. I mean, it looked good at certain points. It really did. But it did not stand against the Lakers. Definitely did not. Almost lost against the Thunder too, ironically enough. And yeah, last year, when I was the Wizards, had a tough start, got better throughout the season, but it didn't really matter much when it came to the playoffs because Russ had a rough playoffs, to put it lightly. I mean, what else could you really do in Washington though? Because it's pretty much just Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal just going back and forth trying to carry the team in any way they can. So I can't really blame him that much, because especially when the defense keys in on you during the playoffs and they let you get more physical, him going to the paint and being like a slasher on a team like that is going to be a bit harder. But yeah, this year he's on the Lakers with LeBron, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, DeAndre Jordan joined, Dwight Howard came back, which I really like that signing. Really don't think they ever should have let him go, because he honestly was just the best center they had in that championship run. We all know Anthony Davis is really a center, but he wants to play power forward, so I'll just call Dwight Howard the center. But yeah, no, this season is really going to be his last hurrah, because LeBron, he's getting older. He said it himself, he may not be ever in that top tip shape he was in the bubble or before that, because like the injuries is really weighing him down, as we've seen in these past few seasons. Ever since he got to LA, the Iron Man has been just, you know, breaking down. From 2019, he had that groin injury. Last year, I think he had another groin injury, or he possibly I think it was something with the leg, don't remember, but it did keep him out for a good amount of time and keep him performing at his best level. So you can factor that in with a lot of other things going in Russell Westbrook's career as well, because he's nearing that ledge, that same ledge that a lot of athletic players have reached. And you mentioned Russell Westbrook, he doesn't have a jump shot like that. I know he'll keep his athleticism for a long time, but Russell Westbrook's game is going to fade away soon enough, because it's really based off of athleticism. Him driving to the paint, forcing the defense to be on their heels, kicking it out, or just finishing himself. He has preserved himself pretty well by changing up the style he finishes, not being that wild Westbrook from probably like 2012, 2013. He said himself, he has changed the way he finished to preserve his body, because we've seen it with Derrick Rose. You just go up in the air and you just slam it down, your legs flailing everywhere, can land wrongly, and we've seen it. So I'm pretty much thinking he's going to be the third option on the team, and he really could fit. It's just depending on how they use him, how he wants to be used, and who steps up and who steps down. I really do think he's going to have to probably step down, become that secondary playmaker, third string scorer behind Anthony Davis and LeBron. He will have those moments where he does step up. But yeah, they really do have a good chance of winning. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Peace out. Have a great day. Yeah.